So God says that I have given you the freedom of believing or disbelieving, whether you accept the revelation, you follow the guidance that is given to us, or reject the guidance and follow the path of wrongdoers, and then go to hell. And God says, even among you, there is no compulsion to believing or disbelieving God alone. But whoever believes God alone is going to be granted by God for the kingship. That's what he says. And so far, that is. And here in the verse 258, God gives an example of Abraham. He was so determined that he told those idol worshippers that, can your God bring the sun from the west?
Simple, yeah.
Very simple, but
I have another observation of this thing. It says in the first verse of this, 256, there shall be no compulsion in religion. The truth is now distinguishable from falsehood. It seems as though, with all the other scriptures, as true as they were in the beginning, and as distorted as they became, Quran was preserved in all of its entirety, completely preserved. And since the code has come, this is a current verse. The truth is now distinguishable from falsehood. Like the code, it verifies every single ayah in this book, alhamdulillah, every word, every letter. And so we don't have to guess. And I think it's like a forecast for the people of the before generations, and to now, it's a symbol of our victory. That's all.
Now in 257 I have an observation that God is the Lord of those who believe. He leads them out of the darkness into the light. In the darkness you don't see a thing. But when God leads you out to the light, you see everything. You can actually feel the difference. You can feel that you know. You just meet people who don't have the good fortune of knowing or reading the Quran, and you see how ignorant they are. For example, the subject of death is coming up. They don't know what is going to happen, or what we are here for, where we're going, what is the purpose of our life. You just don't know. You're completely lost. And you see a person who's 65 years old, but you see that he has a baby soul. You can feel it.
Are those two lines also a repetition of the idea that if we have a choice, but in a way it's turning it right around saying we don't have a choice, because we keep hearing about the veil, that only the people who are supposed to get the message from Quran and do the law will be. And here it's saying it's up to him anyway. He's the one who reaches out to them.
Yeah, but that best, you have the freedom of choice is in your decision to believe or not to believe. That decision is absolutely free. Based on that decision, you are either guided or misguided, deliberately. So if you make a decision you don't have anything to do with God, the veil comes down. If you make a decision to believe in God, all circumstances will work out to direct you to the right path. Now the rest of the verse says, while those who disbelieve, their lords are their idols. They lead them out of the light into the darkness. Now we had a brother come here who was studying the issues that we have in this mosque, and he decided to take my translation and write comments on it. And he sat out there in the balcony and he took a big notebook and he wrote down his comments And he had a plan to come on Friday, a week ago or 2 weeks ago, to debate the issue with me. He also went around the other mosques to talk to them and explore. And when he came across the Islamic Center, they told him, oh no, don't go back and debate the issue with them. Mujahid can tell us the story there. He was really determined to come and debate the issue. But they want him to stay in the dark. They're afraid that he may come across something that will open his eyes and make him see the truth or see the light. They don't want to debate, right? Mujahid? Wasn't Ahmad was determined to come and debate the issues? And we were ready the Friday before last. And then all of a sudden he became very silent. They convinced him not to talk to us, or not to debate anything. Right.
Well, then he was supposed to call me, and then he's never called me.
And Rashid and I have been trying for a few months now to have them set a time and a place and their own terms to go and debate the issue. But they want their people to stay in the dark. You don't want to discuss anything or look at anything. And some of them said we're afraid he may convince us. That's the funniest statement, but it's a true statement.
Even goes without further than what she said. I had to Allah, it'll all come out.
Inshallah.
Committed to
And let's get down to point. He said he has a proof for hadith when it comes to this. He was just going to come tonight, but he said he's going to give a speech on it. So he's going to come tonight. And he said he's going to prove to you that there is hadith and he's going to try to come with.
That's great. I think we're gonna set a reward. That'll be the next step, Rashid. We're gonna have a reward for people who come and debate the issues. I don't know how we can encourage them to come and debate the issues. I want them to name the place, the time, their own terms, and it just doesn't work. Maybe we'll set up a reward. But the verse here says that their laws are their idols, they lead them out of the light into the darkness. And certainly discussing the issues is enlightenment. But if they want to keep them in the dark, they keep them in the dark. They don't want to discuss or reveal anything. It's very important. I know you feel that you came out of the darkness into the light. Alhamdulillah. Did you want to go to 259?
When the one passed by a deserted town, he said, how could God revive this from death? God then put him to death for 100 years and resurrected him and asked, how long has he been here? He said, 1 day or part of a day. He said, you have been here for 100 years, yet look at your food and drink, they do not spoil. And look at your donkey. He thus set you up as a lesson for the people. Look at the bones and see how you construct them and cover them with flesh. When you realize what had happened, he said, now I know that God is able to do anything. Well, this verse tells us that God is never forced to follow scientific logic. If you were to do that, you would say that anybody who died in this rot would never be resurrected. But like it says here, God's able to do it.
Okay, go ahead.
Just a little bit off the subject. On this verse and the next verse, it's is God talking directly to the person?
You mean speaking to him?
Yeah.
No.
God
Some kind
said.
of inspiration. Inspiration.
It's his inspiration.
It's all by inspiration.
How do we know that?
How do we not know it?
Well, I'm asking by the words. He knows it by the words. What's the
No,
other?
because it's throughout the Quran it says he said, and we don't know who's he said, who's he. We don't even know who's he.
So, I mean...
It could be an angel, it could be anything. So it doesn't say God said.
It tells about the things that he did.
It's the word qala, he said.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the same definite meaning in Arabic as it does in English. So that's why I just put he said, but it doesn't necessarily mean God. And you can tell from the verse that it is some kind of inspiration.
I think how
When God speaks, yeah. Go ahead.
in the English, though, that you have here, you've got in one sentence, God then put him to death for 100 years, then resurrected him and asked. And that's implying God asked.
Yeah, it seems
Right.
like a direct
That
address
English
to the
stuff.
individual involved.
There is also he said.
Yeah, there are many ways of delivering the question. Oh yeah, that's to Abraham. Yeah. But he didn't speak to Abraham. We know God did not speak to Abraham. You see, when God spoke to Moses, the Quran makes a big issue out of it throughout the Quran. So when God speaks to someone, it's a big thing, and it had to be mentioned specifically. So God speaking to Abraham, even when Muhammad was taken to the seventh heaven, God did not speak to him. It is mentioned specifically that he was inspired.
Whether he spoke to them or not.
Yeah, what's the big deal? It doesn't make any difference.
Well, speaking can be all different. Speaking can be.
Affect our doctrine of La ilaha illallah.
Speaking can necessarily, it doesn't necessarily mean with a tongue, like you say. Here it implies that Allah was speaking to him in this translation.
But
No, I think that the big deal is, at least maybe the
We just
kinds of mind
had
Carl
a
and
big
I have
discussion
is
about
the
it.
way we
Yeah.
read the Quran and so how we're interpreting it and what we're saying. Maybe we question things we don't need to be questioning, or maybe we're taking a lot more out of something than we should because of the way the English is written.
no, but that's a legitimate question, and the same question is applicable to Arabic. However, it is not important, really isn't. The important issue here is the death and resurrection. How long is it between death and resurrection? Huh? Yeah, but he told us. Allahu A'lam, and he told us. He said the period between death and resurrection is one night. When you die, you open your eyes the next morning, and it's the day of resurrection. Even if it was 1,000,000 years. You were dead for millions of years. Remember? How long was it?
So long.
See, we all experienced death already. We know how it feels like, we know how long it takes, we know how aware we are of the world's affair. Remember Napoleon Bonaparte?
Oh.
You were there, but you were dead. See?
I miss a lot that way.
And when you die the second death, there are 2 deaths and 2 lives. When you die the second death, you're going to miss the President of the United States in the year 2088. It has to be divisible by 4.
I bet you won't
And
miss
you don't
much.
care. You don't care either. Okay, looking at the... now why do we have this verse in the Quran? What is the lesson that we derive from that? that 100 years pass like one day or part of the day. And in Surah 18 we learn that 309 years pass like one day or part of the day. Therefore the concept of time disappears.